Hey. Man, the amount of dancing that goes on before it goes, like it cuts to us, I'm like out of breath already. So
I was actually just huffing and puffing.
We should take a break during the intro, folks. For everybody that's listening, watching, we're all dancing like fools. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. We just lost Rob. That could be a thing that happens periodically through the night's show. So just bear with us. If you've never tuned in before, This is the Special Teams Show. Three brothers get together. We talk a bunch of smack about the NFL, greatest game in the world. We don't know shit about what we're talking about, so bear with us. Otherwise, yeah, okay. So otherwise, strap your helmets on and let's go.
I'm pretty sure Rob's got the worst record this season. So,
well, we'll talk about that a little bit.
That's okay though.
Okay, so
it's about to get a lot worse.
yeah. Okay, so tonight what we're gonna do is we're gonna, because we've got Rob's a little he's at work, he's kind of in the middle of a little bit of a break, so we're gonna kind of keep the pace going a little bit, try something new, see if we can get it under that hour mark, what we've been aiming for. So I won't talk too much longer. The recaps will be a little bit quicker. We'll spend a little bit more time on the previews, but otherwise the show should sound pretty similar as it has. So if there's nothing else, lads, let's do it.
Let's get at it.
Yep. All right. Just let me know if you guys getting feedback.
No feedback, man. No, just your big face. Okay.
I like how you trim the sides there.
Yeah.
The front grows faster.
What happened? Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're looking at here, guys, is we're talking about the recap for Week 6 last week in the NFL. Kind of a sloppy week, if I got an overall feeling for it. The officiating across the board was a little questionable across out there. So hopefully it's one of those weeks where they get things ironed out and we start to see things clean up going into the home stretch, and we're not having the Zebras mess up anybody's opportunities here. So that being said, last Thursday night's game, we had Kansas City at home taking on Denver. I do believe T-Sizzle was in the house, so word up to T-Sizzle. Kansas City took that one 19, Denver 8.
Yeah, so you know what? Taylor Swift was in the house from what I hear. But it was more sloppy football, like you were saying. Like it's a lot of sloppy football. Kelsey came in with 100 and some odd yards, so he was putting on a show for Taylor Swift. I think the best part about this, watching this or not watching it really, I pretty much caught the highlights, is that I didn't have to watch the Taylor Swift show. Caught the highlights. I knew it was going to be a boring game, but you can't win games if your quarterback throws 2 ends and 95 yards. So they got to figure out something in Denver, and yeah, it's just what we expected, Kansas City to win. I would have expected Kansas City to put up more points. I know it's a Thursday night game, but yeah, Denver's brutal. So
yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later on. I'm not too hot on Kansas City, so they better straighten some things out.
Me either. Actually, yeah, I agree.
Okay, so as you know, last week we put together a Thursday night parlay for you betting folks out there. Once again, none of us know anything about what we're doing here. We don't know what we're talking about. Bet at your own risk should you choose to adventure with us. One of these days we'll hit one. One of us was close this week, closer than really close. So we'll talk about that. But first up, we had Reg with his. So you want to go through that, Reg?
Oh yeah, big fail. I was hoping that Mahomes would come out and start tossing the ball around, get Broncos down early, and then hopefully Russ would have to try to catch up, but that didn't happen. That did not happen at all.
Yeah,
triple. I think Mahomes threw for 300 and some odd yards, but I think he only had one touchdown pass, and Russ, didn't have one. I don't think. I think it was a running touchdown. I forget.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Russ did not cook.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Rob. Yours was looking like this. So 4-legger for you as well. How'd you feel?
Going with what Reg said there, I figured the Chiefs would pile it on early, force Wilson to throw it, and he'd have to pick between Judy or Sutton. And I took Judy as the guy. Russell Wilson did not go over. Judy did not go over, and he didn't hit pay dirt. Sky Moore, my only bright side, I think he had 22 or 23 yards, so he just slipped under there. But terrible.
Yeah, looking like a triple fail around the house there for you guys. So on to mine. You dumb shits. We talked about it. Thursday Night Football is the worst football out there. You both went with these ridiculous numbers. I'm not sure what was wrong with you. So either way, what I did was I went with sloppy football for mine, and I had a couple turnovers I was looking for. Pacheco, I had a combination of receiving yards, rushing yards for 100+ yards. Total points was under 47.5. I did not see a track meet here. And Russell Wilson under 22.5 passing yards because, well, he's terrible. I missed by 2 yards. 2 yards for Pacheco. They did some ridiculous shit at the end of the game, and I ended up missing out on, I think it was like $180. So, kudos to me for almost sucking or almost being awesome, but still sucking, and you guys being dumb shits.
How much money are you putting on these Thursday night parlays? $180.
It's a $10 no sweat.
Oh,
More
Well,
important, how come when you go 1-4, nothing gets said, but when we do, it's like, oh, you guys suck.
Well, because I'm in charge of the slides. Anyway. Okay, moving on. So,
Your privilege, older brother privilege. Sure.
yeah, I got it all, man. Yeah. You're pretty much screwed, Rob. Sorry about your luck. Love you, Mom. All right, game number 2, Baltimore 24, visiting Tennessee 16. Reg had this one as a lock, and Rob went lone wolf with Tennessee on this one.
Yeah. So I lone wolfed it. Titans D couldn't stop drives. They had the Ravens early on a few times, third and medium, and they just gave up chunk plays. Lots of penalties in this game. At one point, Vrabel looked like one of my ex-rugby coaches, and that is a scary thought. He was very upset, and I think the Titans ran a few gassers this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, game number 3 in our recap here. We got Washington 24, Atlanta 16. Again, I went with the lone wolf on this one. But go ahead.
Drake London has a great game. But unfortunately, the person throwing him the ball also threw for 3 interceptions, and the Commanders just take advantage of those turnovers. Howell threw for three TDs, and the other quarterback threw for 3 picks. Not a good formula to win.
yeah. I really thought Atlanta had a chance here too. Like, I feel like every time I looked, it was like they had the ball.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get into the end zone. So.
I think Kyle Pitts scored for the first time in like ever.
Mm-hmm. He did
like 3 seasons.
Yeah. Like
right.
All of a sudden he's like, whoa, his first touchdown. Anyway, I got to be honest. I've been talking about Washington for a couple of weeks. I like them. I think their offensive line stinks, but I think that they got some dog in them. And they could be sneaky in the NFC East other than Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, Detroit, Tampa Bay. So Detroit in to visit Tampa Bay at home. We had Detroit 20, Tampa Bay 6, and we took Detroit across the board. And this was my lock for last week. So
big news here for the Lions fans. Jameson Williams finds the end zone for the first time this year. He did sit out 4 weeks because he's not very smart. Decides to gamble in the Lions facilities.
Dumb shit
against the rules. And look, Stephen A. Smith said the Lions are the best team in his power ranking. Number 1, first time ever.
Yeah, I saw those power rankings today, and I was like, and then NFL or Good Morning Football, they also did power rankings. I think it was just the NFC they did, and a couple of them picked Detroit over San Francisco, and I was like, well, that's what you get for being dumb shits. So anyway,
in all fairness, Stephen A. Smith list, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's Stephen A. Smith. Okay, next up, San Francisco 17, Cleveland 19. We took San Francisco across the board, and we all suck for it. Look, this is a prime example of a team. I was listening to some of their talk through the week, and they're getting a little high on themselves. They're getting a little confident. There was some poor play calling on Kyle Shanahan's behalf. As far as the officiating concern, and this isn't poor San Francisco. It was bad on both sides of the ball here. Cleveland got ripped off for a couple of calls, a couple of face mask calls. One of they had to get they had to throw a flag to get a measurement again because all the zebras couldn't figure out whether or not the chain gang had them at a first down. Really, really, really bad. Purdy looked normal a little bit here. He struggled with the wet, with the rain. Some of his throws were a little bit off. We lost a couple of players. McCaffrey went out. Debo went out. Trent Williams went out. Big scrap at the beginning of the game. Either way, all around, shitty performance. And they deserve to lose this one. They put themselves in a position to win it at the end. But if you're going to count on a kicker, rookie kicker, in a hostile environment, well, sucks to be you, and you take an L. So sucks to be San Fran this week. Yeah.
Right. What's the word on Big Trent there?
He was walking around in a cast. I think it's ankle. Most of them, the three of them, are not considered to be long-term injuries. So Debo, CMC, and so he'll get his rest this week, his veteran rest, and we'll see where it's at. I think the biggest concern right now is whether McCaffrey's going to play, and right now they're leaning towards he's going to play. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Okay.
New Orleans into town to visit Houston. New Orleans 13, Houston 20.
Yeah, this game's crazy. So Derek Carr throws the ball 50 times and gets 350 yards, and they're only able to put up 13 points. So kudos to the Houston D. They got a couple big takeaways. I think the Saints really need to get their run game going. Like Kamara looked good receiving, and I think they got him like 17 carries or something for 70 yards. He seems to be the key to the offense at this point, and I think they just need to slow it down and start running the ball a bit more. Stroud actually didn't look as good as he usually does, but he did come away with a win, and I think he did throw his first interceptions. But I like the Texans. I think they're doing all right, and they should be above 500 team this year. So yeah,
fair enough.
Which is crazy considering where they were last year and the year before, I think. So
yeah, we all took Houston across the board here, so it didn't really affect our standings. But couldn't pick on our side. Carolina in to visit Miami. Carolina 21, Miami 42. We took Miami across the board. This was Rob's lock. Carolina started off fast. They went up 14 into the second quarter. Thought, oof, maybe this is going to be a game. And then Miami just put it on and put it on hard. Couple of cool things happening in the game. Mostert, for one, if he stays healthy, I know he was a Niner back, so watching him get hurt a lot really sucked. But if he stays healthy, he's a good back. He could probably take Miami a long way. Tyreek with the selfie backflip. Okay, these are the highlights I'm looking for. Is this cool shit in the end zone, right? And Miami seems to do it better than anybody else.
It's probably easy when you get into the end zone as much as they do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think most teams practice their end zone dances. Like I think there's a Friday session that they do it in. I wonder how long Miami's got to be because they score enough touchdowns that they need like a ton of these dances.
Jalen Waddle just waddles.
I like when they crank. I like when they crank them up. Actually, the best one was the Remember the Titans dance this week. So they did the Remember the Titans the walk. Yep, exactly. They did it. And then Tua came out. They put in the Mike the Great White Hype, or Great White Hope, and he turned around and threw a pick six, which is to the 21 for Carolina. So really, the 14 they scored up at the beginning, it was all for naught. Carolina sucks.
Tua and the coach fist bumping when they were down 14-0. That's when you knew.
Yeah.
It was on. They did a little fist bump on the sideline. It's like, all right, it's go time. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, McDaniels is something else. He might get coach of the year this year. We'll see what happens.
Might probably the fastest team in the league. Everyone.
They're definitely the
track.
fastest team in the league. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
track meet. Yeah. They're fun to, you know what? They're fun to
Like-
watch. There's something about Miami though that I just don't trust, and I don't know why I don't trust them. I feel like at any point, if that all goes bad for them, it's yeah, I don't know.
I
We'll
feel
see
like
what
this
happens.
is how people were talking about Miami last year, and then Tua went down at like week 6.
Well,
And then-
it's a young coach and a young quarterback, right? So it's very easy that it could implode quickly if things go south.
Yeah. It seems like they're having fun though. So
They're great.
having fun.
I don't expect anything to go south.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it while we watch it. Okay, up next, Seattle 13 in town to visit Cincinnati. Cincinnati was 17 with the win, and Reg took the lone wolf here.
Reg had the lone wolf, and I took the game though on the recap. Bengals are beginning to string together some wins, and this is what we were talking about early on. This team is too bad to have that record that too good to have the record that they were showing. Hopefully Cincinnati's back because they are an exciting team.
Yeah. You know what? Seattle had so many opportunities to win this game too. Every time I flipped that game on, Gino was in Cincinnati's end of in the fourth quarter. It seemed like Seattle was driving, and they just could not finish.
Yeah.
I really thought Seattle was going to pull it out there at the end, but
Yeah, I think Gino's kind of fun to watch, but I really think that looking into the draft for next year, I think that it's time for Seattle to get themselves somebody solid behind center, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, he's a very good, serviceable backup, or a bottom tier starter, but he's doing well.
Yeah, he plays well. I don't think that he's going to take them to the promised land.
No.
Okay, Indy in town to visit Jacksonville. So Indy takes a loss here, 20-37. Rob with the lone wolf on Indy. So Reg and I take the big W's here. Colts 4 turnovers. It's what happens when you let Gardner Minshew throw the ball 55 times, right? So he's probably going to throw a couple picks. Etienne with 2 TDs. We'll talk about him a little bit later on because we got him in the Thursday parlay tomorrow. I like the Colts. Jacksonville's just playing a lot better right now. And I think we just got some news. Reg was telling us before the show went live that it sounds like Anthony Richardson's out for the season. So what is it? T's and P's? Is that what T's and P's that Pat McAfee does? T's and P's to Richardson. It sucks that he's out, but yeah. So we'll see where the Colts go from here. But Jacksonville is looking strong right now.
Jacksonville looks like they're back, and Minshew Mania might not take Indy to the promised land. They really needed Richardson, so I think, their season's going to slowly decline from here.
Yeah, totally different plan.
Yeah.
Now you've got Minshew compared to Richardson. You got to protect your assets, so Richardson's got to quit doing what he was doing.
Yeah, we talked about who was going to die first, right? Him or what's his face in Washington? Yeah. Sam Howell. One of them was going to die first, and it ended up being Richardson. So let's hope that maybe Howell learned from watching him get hurt. Okay, Minnesota in town to visit Chicago. Interdivision game here, 19-13. Minnesota gets a win. Oh.
Yeah, this was actually all Vikings, this game. They held Fields to pretty much nothing. He had a couple big runs before he got hurt. I think he was hurt in the third quarter. And their backup, Tyson Bagent, I think his name was. He looked pretty decent. I'm not too sure how long Fields is out. He might be out again. I'll look that up after this. But yeah, the score really is like 19-6 here. They picked up a late touchdown. Vikings D, showed up, took care of business, and it's amazing when we don't lose the turnover battle how easy it is for us to win games. So I'm glad you guys both picked Chicago and hated on Minnesota, but Minnesota's a pretty decent team. They're the best 2-4 team in the league. Let's be real. So
yeah, never mind. I don't want to get us flagged as mature audience here, so
All right. All right, we got New England 17 in town visiting the Raiders 21. We took Vegas across the board here.
Yeah, no wonder we took Vegas across the board because the Patriots are terrible. Um, Even with Jimmy G going down with a back injury, they brought in Brian Hoyer, who used to be in New England,
Yeah.
to finish out the game. He was more than good enough to close it out for them. Yeah, Patriots have offensive issues. Their defense is doing decent enough, but this team needs help. Like,
Yeah.
they need to figure it out.
Tell me I don't know Jimmy. I'm sitting at we actually went up to our cottage this weekend, and then we went over to a friend's. One of our close friends actually is probably tuning in right now for dinner. And this game happened to be on. And and so I wasn't watching the TV when it happened, but I saw Jimmy going into the locker, and I'm like, oh, I bet when they show this replay, nothing actually happened to him. And we're all wondering how he hurt himself. And sure as shit, the replay came on, and we were just like, oh my God. It was just looked like a regular nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
And yeah, I was like, there's Jimmy. That's a Jimmy move right there. So
I'm taking my ball and going.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking my balls and I'm leaving.
Yeah, he probably had to go.
Balls he has left.
Ball.
Go work on his tan or something. I don't know. But yeah,
like
Patriots, like I said, not great. Raiders, also not that great, but they're better than New England.
Exactly. They are not good, just better than New England. Okay, Arizona 9, LA Rams 24. Not much here. Look, the Rams are they're handling business here. Same old song and dance. You've got your Cooper Kupps, your Puka Nacua. Everybody's playing well enough to beat Arizona. Arizona's not getting touchdowns. They're kicking field goals. Look. I don't see the Arizona being anywhere near in this division this year. I don't even see it. I don't even know if they'll be back next year. It sounds like Kyler Murray might be on his way out as well. So, you don't got a lot going on here. So, it is what it is.
Kyler Murray to Seattle.
I hope so. I like hitting him as much as possible. Little shit.
I know.
Don't get me started. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, the Rams are supposed to win this game, and they did.
Yeah. I think that was pretty much it. You win the games you're supposed to win, and that's what they did.
I think they did get an injury with their running back though, which is unfortunate. Kyron Williams.
Oh yeah. He played really
I don't know
well.
how long he's down for, but
yeah. Philadelphia 14 visiting the Jets 20. This was the last of the Titans, the undefeated to fall this season. So we went with Philly across the board, and the Jets did their thing.
Yeah, Jets, Jets. Eagles looked like the Eagles in the first half. I think they came out and they had a half decent drive, but then it died, and then scored back-to-back touchdowns. And then things just started to fall apart. They had some unfortunate picks that you can't blame on Hurts. Like, it was just like tipped at the line or, stuff like that. But yeah, the D for the Jets came through and put a lot of pressure on them to slow them down. And I think the Jets should be happy that they've got the Wilsons on the same page, and Breece Hall is like, looking good.
So good. He's so good.
Looking good, yeah. And their D is amazing. Unfortunate for the Eagles is Lane Johnson got hurt. I'm not too sure.
Never good losing an old lineman.
Sorry, Rob.
Never good to lose an old lineman.
Yeah, especially with that team. It says that they got relatively good news, but I don't know what that means.
Not season ending, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
fair enough. They say it's not serious, and maybe a high ankle sprain. So, hopefully he gets back because he's a key component to their run game and all that stuff. So,
yeah, this is one of those games where we were watching. I was watching it with Luke, and after I'd watched the Niners kind of fall apart in the second half, and just kind of everything going on there. As the Eagles, this game was playing out in the second half, I was like, man, this seems too like it looks so similar the way it's all going down that I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
So
the 73 Dolphins had their little
little
fucking voodoo dolls, and they were starting to poke them.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, first half I was like, Philadelphia's gonna run away with it because the Jets were kicking field goals and Philly was driving. Like, they were doing what they wanted. They just had a couple unfortunate turnovers. I think Swift fumbled in the first half, and then there was also a bad Hurts pick that wasn't really his fault, and that really slowed them down. But both of those drives looked like they were going to be putting up 7, so it would have been 28-6 going into half kind of thing. But yeah,
right.
So
Okay, all right. We got the Giants 9 visiting Buffalo 14.
Both teams. I can. This was a snooze fest for me. I didn't really enjoy this game very much. Both teams had roughly 300 yards on offense, which for the Giants, that's a good week. For the Bills, we're looking at 450. That's the Bills played down to the Giants in this game.
Mhm.
That's the best way for me to talk about this game. I think they played down their opponent.
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I honestly thought the Giants were gonna, with the way that things went, right? Cleveland with the win, Jets with the win. I was like, as if the Giants were gonna beat Buffalo right now. So
Vegas had to flip the script. If not, that was going to be a huge parlay.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So I don't know what happened here. I must have messed up the PowerPoint or the slides, but it looks like I cut off the last game, which was Dallas and the Chargers on Monday night. Dallas took that one 2017. We trash Dak as many opportunities as we can. We take as many shots at him as we can, and he played pretty much mistake-free football for the most part here. It's not like he's sort of tossing touchdowns all over the place, but 21 for 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. He was running. So he was playing well enough to put his team in a position to win and not necessarily lose the game for them. You got CeeDee Lamb out there being a baller, 7 receptions for 117 yards. The real story for me is what the hell's going on with the Chargers. We've been waiting for them to be a strong team for 2-3 years at this point.
Yeah.
And Herbert didn't look super comfortable, 2 TDs, an int. Eckler ran for 27 yards. What the fuck? He just came back. Like that's not acceptable. So 14 carries for 27 yards. It's just not acceptable at this point. I think that they need to start producing. Otherwise, I think we've got possibly our first hot seat candidate of the season. So
Mike Williams is still out for the Chargers, right?
What was that?
Mike Williams is still out for the Chargers.
I think he's done for the season, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a huge hit to them. Keenan Allen can't do what he normally does.
You know what? They lose a receiver every year, it feels like. I feel like they lose a receiver every year. This bullshit's got to end. The Chargers are built to win, and they're just not. And at this point, it's one of those things where you've got the players in place. There's got to be something. There's another problem. There's another problem somewhere in that building, and I think we all know that the direction that heads.
Yeah, and their wide receiver 3 that's stepping up, Joshua Palmer. He's not a bad wideout. Like he's not Williams, but like he's definitely good enough to fit into that offense, and they should be doing better than what they're doing. So.
Yeah, he had 4 receptions for 60 yards. Yeah, Keenan Allen 7 receptions, 85 yards. The run game was just terrible. Like that's where the problem was. Really, is that they're just not there. So. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's our week 6 recap. We made it through, probably record time for us, so that's good. So here's how the pick'ems look for after week 6. Reg still sitting on top, 29. He had 11 last week. Him and I tied with 11 total. I think that means that there was 11, and I think we only lost 2. I have to go back and double check. Was there 13 games last week?
I think the thing said we were 11-4.
Oh, 11-4. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rob with the big L this week he only picked 9. So it breaks down. Reg in first, I'm in second, and Rob's in third. We're all pretty close, so we can either one of us can swing this.
When Reg is in first, I really need the clip from it was Nick Diaz after he beat Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz after he beat Conor McGregor. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
not surprised I'm in first, baby. I'm also not surprised Rob's in last. Can't wait. I'm also not surprised this week.
yeah, I'm also not surprised that Rob's in last. Okay, so quick segment. So we like to try to add something a little bit different each week. This one, we decided to do a little bit of a quick segment because obviously a little bit of a time constraint, but something different to talk about. So what we wanted to talk about was a dark horse pick of the week or of the season. Basically, the rundown that Rob was suggesting was that we take a team that maybe is sitting towards the bottom of their division, maybe struggling, and a little bit of a long shot to go all the way, or at least make it into the playoffs, and what they have to do to get there. So up first, we got Reg, and surprise, surprise, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. So, one, I'm not gonna say that they're gonna turn around and win the division.
No.
But pump the brakes. So they have a tough game, obviously 49ers on Monday Night Football coming up. But once I rhyme off these next teams, you'll see what I'm saying and how they can turn around. They got Packers, they got the Falcons, they got the Saints, they got the Broncos, they got the Bears, they got the Raiders, then they got the Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions. They have a stretch of about 6 games there that they can easily, okay. They can easily go. I think they could easily go 6-0 in that stretch from Packers to Raiders before they get to the Bengals. And if the 49ers are still having some woes, maybe they get a win on Monday night. I'm not too keen on that, but also they could potentially pull out the division because the Lions are really just they beat the Chiefs, who I think we all agree are not quite the Chiefs that we expect, and they lost to the Seahawks. And are you ready for the other teams that they beat? They've beat the Falcons, they've beat the Panthers, they've beat the Packers, and they've beat the Bucks. They're beating up on like middle tier teams. I'm not sure the Lions really are who they are. And I think we're about to find out this weekend against the Ravens to see if they are actually a real team. So, this division could be a little bit closer than people expect. So go Vikes. Goal, baby.
You're a homer.
I don't get to defend my team here. Okay.
Yeah. This isn't the place to defend your team, so it sucks to be you.
No.
All right, Rob with his dark horse pick of the week or of the season.
The Jets. Look, when we decided to do this, I looked at the records, and it was pretty hard to find a team that was sitting somewhere where it's not like, well, yeah, they're in the lead of their division, or they're in the second place. A lot of teams in divisions have similar records right now. There's not really too many divisions spreading out yet. It's the Jets. It's more of a safe pick, I think, but they do still have to contend with the Bills. So we'll see what happens there, but I think the Jets find a way to win this division.
Yeah, that's fair.
Win the division.
The division, yeah.
That would be quite the script.
That's a little bit of a stretch. Yeah. A little bit of a stretch.
Jets win the division. Aaron Rodgers comes back.
Yeah.
For the playoffs.
Toss some balls this week.
Meet up with the Chiefs in the conference championship. Lose to the Chiefs so that Taylor Swift can kick Usher off the stage and play in the Super Bowl halftime show.
I think
that's pretty much what the NFL script is this year. I'm behind it, Rob.
I think the Kelsey brothers said, anyway, that the script is actually supposed to be run it back. But Jason said just with a little bit of a change at the end. I think that was the run back.
Sure. Yeah, that works. But definitely like Chiefs got to be there. Taylor Swift kicks Usher off for the halftime show.
Fair enough.
And I imagine Jets and Aaron Rodgers making it back. That fits.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. Mine. I picked the Texans. Texans right now sitting 3-3, so they're 500. Again, I agree with Rob. This was a little bit tough to do because you either pick a 3-3 team or you pick a 1-5 team. And I think the 1-5 teams are a little bit tough. I think that's a real long stretch, real dark horse. Houston, they've got a new coach, rookie quarterback, bunch of new stuff going on there, and they're still holding 3-3 right now, and they actually seem like they're getting better every week. Again, I went and looked at the schedule as well. I've got teams ahead of me looking at like the Panthers, the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks will be a strong game. The Bengals, if the Bengals keep on the trajectory they're on, then that might be a tough one. But then you've got the Cardinals, the Jags, possibly. It's an interdivision, it can go any way. The Broncos, they suck. the Jets. We'll see what happens, and then the Titans, who also suck right now. So, I mean, it sounds like we could be looking at a team that's sitting, with 11 wins maybe by the end of the season, and that might find them a way at least into the wild card. And once you're in the playoffs, it's anybody's game. So
Yeah,
that's
I definitely
what I'm
don't
saying.
think they take the division. I think
No, I don't.
taking that by a long
Yeah, I don't think
stretch
they
at
take the
this point.
division either, but I think that they
Yeah.
might sneak in with a wild card.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
They can get a wild card.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, this was kind of a dark horse pick to make the playoffs, right? So, or they have to do something to turn it around, and we think that they can, and that's how.
Exactly. Yeah, I think all of these teams have an opportunity to turn it around and potentially get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think Jets have to win their division, I think, to make the playoffs. That AFC's
pretty tough. Yeah,
I think they have to win the division.
You think they're gonna beat the Dolphins?
I think they have to win the division to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right. So on to week 7. Here we are for the preview. We're looking at tomorrow night's game. Jacksonville in town to visit New Orleans. Reg and I took Jacksonville. Rob sat on New Orleans as a lone wolf. So I don't know if you got something to say about that, Rob.
I just think the Saints are they're healthy. They've got Kamara back, and I think they're a better team. Lawrence is a quarterback of the future. I think he is better than Carr, but top to bottom, I do think that the Saints are the better team.
Yeah.
He's significantly better than Carr. He is questionable, though, with the knee injury. And that actually had New Orleans as the favorite, but that line has moved. And I think it's only a half point at this point. Like, it's a pick 'em. And I think they were 3.5 coming into the week. But Jacksonville is a significantly better team than New Orleans, and I think they'll show it. ETN's gonna get going. Even if they have their backup quarterback in, they'll handle the ball and they'll take care of business. New Orleans, they can't. What I say? Derek Carr threw the ball 50 times and they only put up 13 points against. I don't even remember who they were playing, but they should have put up more than 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jacksonville is a way better team. So
yeah, fair enough. I agree. I think that Thursday night shitball is. I think Jacksonville's the better team for that style of or that shitty type of football. I think Derek Carr he struggles tomorrow night. So.
And they also have the shitball from London, shitball on Thursday night.
Shitball, lots of shitball. Yeah, they're the shitball team. Okay, so on to our parlays. Reg, what do you got?
Yeah, so I got Jacksonville win. I got over 39.5 points. I would have been happier if this was like a 37.5. I could have picked an alternate spread, but then it lowers your odds.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the 39.5. And ETN, he got 2 touchdowns last week. He got 2 touchdowns the week before. I'm going. He's third time the charm. He's getting another 2, and he's going to make it happen. This is going to be the one that hits for the special team show, and tail it, be a believer.
Fair enough. I am happy that your betting line is a little bit higher. Three legs, that double touchdown really pumps it up for you. So good stuff. All right, Rob, 4-legger here.
Yeah, my screen is very small. I got Evan Ingram under 44.5. Then I've got Etienne over 22.5. Derek Carr over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and Travis Etienne on a anytime touchdown. Etienne is the one that's going to be moving the ball. I think for them, it's a Thursday game, like we said. It's probably going to be sloppy. Give it to him. Let him see what he's going to do. Keep it out of the air. Derek Carr is going to have to throw touchdowns. I do think that Alvin Kamara is going to get a receiving touchdown in this one, and that's going to be probably the one that'll get him over the 1.5.
Yeah,
I would be iffy about the Ingram under 44.5. I find that he's. I mean, it's a coin flip with him. He either puts up 80 yards or he puts up nothing, right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Under.
Yeah, anything can happen on Thursday, man. It's a crapshoot. Flip a coin.
Yeah, and it's just a dump off.
22. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, my betting line was actually the lowest of the group this week. I still took 4 legs. I took the Jacksonville win. I took the ATN anytime touchdown. Again, shitty football means we're gonna have a lot of field goals. So I took over on 3.5 field goals made between both teams, and then I took Derek Carr for the over on his interceptions, which was basically as to throw one.
Yeah, that's a freebie.
Yeah,
The Derek Carr over. I would have put him in for a 1.5.
Well, you don't get to choose. So,
okay.
yeah. So I just take the 0.5 because you're right. And now that we're talking about it, that will probably be the one that loses it for me. He won't throw interceptions.
Hell yeah. He'll throw 7 TDs and we'll just all look like idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted field goals, but when I was doing my bet, they didn't have field goal props up on Facebook.
Oh no, do they do them on Fan? They do them on FanDuel. The field goal props, yeah.
Do they?
Normally they do. A kicker has to score X amount of points.
Oh right, yeah. DraftKings says that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Game number 2, Detroit visiting Baltimore. Reg went lone wolf on Baltimore. Rob and I are believers. I believe that Detroit is, number 2 in the NFC, and I see a win here.
Number 2 behind the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
The Lions defense is strong, very, very strong. They're very fast. They swarm the ball. They play fairly mistake-free football on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions staying hot.
Even though the Baltimore Ravens aren't blowing teams out, when you watch their games, it seems like they're winning no matter what. Like they're just winning in every portion of the game, and the scores aren't reflecting it, but the Ravens are, I think, a really good team. And I think this is a tough place to go into for the Lions and pick up a win. So I think the Ravens pull it out. I think Lamar's been playing great football. Lamar continues to do Lamar things, and he's better than Jared Goff, so he'll win.
I think if Detroit comes away with the win here, I think that there's some serious talk about where they stand in the NFL as an overall power ranking.
I agree. Number 1 in power rankings is ridiculous. I think if they win here, though, then they're up there.
They're definitely solid 2 and 3. Like they sit there over the NFL. Like if they come out with the win here
in the NFC, yeah. I think come on, they can't be number 2 in the NFL with a win here. You're going to put them ahead of the Miami Dolphins?
I don't trust the Dolphins, so I think that the Dolphins have the opportunity to, I don't think that I think they're kind of like a one-trick pony. I think it's an offense thing, and if they get it with somebody who can track meet with them, I think that they can't play. They can't hang.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Vegas visiting Chicago. Chicago across the board. Vegas sucks. Chicago sucks. What do you want here?
Yeah. Both these teams stink, and I was back and forth on this one, but I think Justin Fields will, if he's playing, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think they can bounce back and get a win here. Vegas just doesn't look good. Chicago has some flashes of brilliance, greatness, whatever you want to say. And I think Chicago is actually going to be the team that beats up on the bottom 5 teams this year. So if they run into I think they play the Panthers later.
Big bully of the bottom.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the hell, and they'll catch they'll get a dirty win in the NFC North. They'll beat the Lions, or they'll beat the Vikings or something like that, and it'll really mess things up. But
yeah, fair enough. Rob, got
anything? It's 2 sloppy teams. Chicago Bears are at home, and just trust if Justin Fields plays that he is the better quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, the Bears are the number 6 overall rushing team in the league. I think shitty field, shitty weather, which Chicago has the potential to always do. I think that, I think the Bears walk away with this one. I don't trust the Raiders either.
Jimmy G's back, might be hurt still too.
Yeah, well, if it's not, he'll play it like a series, and it'll be something else will be hurt. Okay, Cleveland. The big juggernaut, the Cleveland visiting Indianapolis Colts. Rob went with the lock on Indy, Cleveland. Yeah. Like, I mean, You locked this. Did you know that Anthony Richardson still wasn't playing and now definitely out for the season? Like, are you feeling okay? Like their defense, Cleveland's defense is for real. They can play.
Yes, their defense is good. This is a PJ Walker and Jerome Ford against Gardner Minshew and Jonathan Taylor / whoever else they got toting the rock there.
How dare you disrespect Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper?
How
What is
dare
wrong
you
with you?
even say any of that after watching PJ Walker do what he did? He played very well against San Francisco. So you can't even say that anymore.
What do you have, 200 yards? I mean,
It wasn't. No. It was
was
the decision making. Like he did all right.
it was a 17-19 game.
Against the best, everyone would have said the best team going into that week.
Hey, I said
The best
I know it's
defense.
Rob, I would have been fine with the Colts being your pick. It's the fucking lock
The
that
lock,
you put on it.
locking it in.
Right?
Come on,
I'm okay with the Colts being the pick. It's
we
the
have
fucking
listeners
lock.
that take our word for
how
something.
confident I am, boys.
Yeah.
Colts.
Okay.
Rob's gonna have 7 wins after this week. I can feel
Yeah.
it already.
Yeah, we might be ahead by like six in the pick'ems by the time this is all said and done. You keep picking like that, Rob.
I can't.
I
you know
encourage
what?
you.
I'm pretty sure something happened, and Rob sent a GIF and he was like, "Told you, motherfuckers." Because I think, did you pick the Jets or something? I don't know what it was, but I think you were talking shit because me and Rick picked something and another team won.
No.
I feel like
No, he's just Detroit Lions
It
talking
was a
shit.
picture of Hutchinson giving a little thumbs up action. 'Cause,
Oh, okay.
well, guess what? The Lions are on top.
Oh, okay. But I figure you're gonna send us that GIF when Indy wins and New Orleans wins, and you're gonna be like, "Told you, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
No. That was
yeah,
Aiden
we'll
Hutch-
see.
Got it.
The way it's looking right now, Rob is already down 2 for the week. So and we're only 4 games in.
Probably
Okay.
not.
Yeah, well, we'll go with 2. Okay, so we've got Buffalo in town visiting New England. We went Buffalo across the board, and Reg locked this one up, so I don't disagree with him, but I picked a different lock just because.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is my first like super safe lock. I mean, it is one of those games. It's a division game, and anything can happen. But Buffalo really needs to bounce back after that Giants game, and I'm pretty sure when Josh Allen has a bad game, the next game he comes out and throws 5 TDs. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
fully
Josh
expecting
Allen.
something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Rob, you got anything on that one?
No.
Pretty straightforward. Buffalo wins game. Okay, we got Washington visiting the New York Giants. Another interdivision game. I lone wolf this one. The Giants are fucking terrible, and I like Washington. And it was either Houston or Washington in my dark horse for this season. Those are the 2 that I've been kind of riding on. I think that Washington. I think the NFC East is not nearly as solidified as it should be. And I think that leaves Washington. I think I asked the question like our first episode if the NFC East would send 2 to the playoffs. And I'm still not sure they do. And I'm not sure it's the team that we think, or that maybe at the start of the year we thought was going to go. I'm a fan of Washington, and I think that they win this one.
I think the Eagles and the Cowboys are leaps and bounds ahead of the Commanders. I do not like Washington. Every time I watch them, I'm just like, how is this team winning games? Like it's sloppy. It's not great. The Giants suck. I'm just going with the Giants need to win at home because like it's a division game. The Giants, they had like some momentum. They were so close against Buffalo kind of thing. And the story is they're going to finally come in. They're going to win. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's playing or Danny Dimes is back. But if Danny Dimes is back, he better put up 5 touchdowns because Tyrod Taylor's exactly. Tyrod Taylor is going to take his job if Danny Dimes doesn't come back and beat the Commanders here. So
yeah, fair enough.
Rob, status is
Giants decide if they want to win one for Dayball or if this is my guy that's on the hot seat.
Yeah, Dayball's number 2 for me for sure. Yeah, Dayball's number 2.
The hot seat for me, and this is where the Giants team says we're winning one for coach, and they will a win here.
Could you imagine coach of the year one year turning around and getting fired the year after? That's amazing. The storyline on that is friggin'
somehow
amazing.
Daniel Jones made the playoffs.
Whatever.
If you can coach Daniel Jones to the playoffs, you deserve Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Atlanta visiting Tampa. Tampa across the board for the three of us. Atlanta's not a great team.
Yeah.
Tampa
Poor Bijan.
is a little bit better. Yeah, poor Bijan, because Bijan's fantastic. A lot of fun to watch. Tampa's a little bit better. It's at home. I mean, interdivision, anything can happen always, but yeah, I think Tampa walks away with this one.
Yeah, I think Tampa runs the ball behind what's his name, Rashad White, and just grinds out a nice 17-10 win or 17-9 win, something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Rob?
Tampa Bay shuts down the run for Atlanta, and
Tough to do.
Bijan has
Wow,
a
tough.
very bad.
Sorry, you said Bijan has a very bad day?
Yeah.
Oof. All right. I'm surprised you picked Tampa to be that team that gives him a bad day. But either way, okay. Either way, Tampa across the board. Pittsburgh visiting LA. Rob fucking lone wolf again. I'm telling you, Rob, you're either going to go way up this week or you are going way down this week.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Rob lone wolf, the Pittsburgh pick here. So what do you got for us?
Pittsburgh's one of the two teams coming off a bye last week. You've never won an early bye. They make it count, though. Good preparation. Take the game against the Rams.
Okay.
The Rams are moving. Pittsburgh offense did look okay going in, the last two quarters, 2 weeks ago. I can't see them beating the Rams though. Like the Rams, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, they're solid. They're a top, like a 10 to 15 team.
Yeah,
probably.
10 to 15 team exactly. And
Yeah.
like Pittsburgh, even though they're 3-2, they're like, I feel like they're a bottom 5 team. Like I do not think they're a good
I don't know
team
they're
at all.
bottom 5, but they're probably more in the 20 to 25 range.
They win high, or sorry, they win only if the defense can, get a pick six, a fumble return, and I don't think Stafford's gonna let that happen. So,
Yeah, fair enough. Yep, I picked LA too. I think LA is a stronger team here and at home, where basically any other team can take over the LA stadium. So I'm sure Pittsburgh will be. It'll be like a home game.
yeah,
for
they'll
them,
travel
but
well. Be
They always do.
terrible fouls
Pittsburgh always
everywhere.
does. Yeah. So, I still think the Rams win this one. Arizona visiting Seattle. Seattle across the board for us. Arizona sucks. I think Seattle wins this one, no problem.
Yeah, Seattle's also in that like probably 12 to 16 range, 12 to 17 range. They're right around the Rams. Arizona's also in the bottom feeders. Seattle at home after I think they put up a pretty good performance against the Bengals. I think they bounce back, get a nice win here against Arizona. Arizona needs a whole new team. So
yeah, for sure. Rob, what do you think?
Pete Carroll at home. It's a tough for Arizona. Take Seattle.
Yeah.
Sure,
I think Pete Carroll's gum's going to put up a better fight than the Arizona Cardinals.
Jen watches me scream and yell, and she hates it too, right? Like if I could reach through, there's a couple people. If I could reach through the screen and just punch them in the face, he's definitely one of them. So
yeah. Well,
chomping away.
His gum is definitely going to be more of a challenge than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Another lone wolf, Rob.
Fuck, Rob. You are, man, and it's not even like you sure. I'm surprised you didn't fucking lock Denver here.
What's even more funny is that the logic with picking the Steelers is they're coming off the bye. Isn't Green Bay coming off the bye too?
Yep, they are.
Nice.
Only 2 teams had the bye last week. Yeah. So what do you got, Rob? We'll let you lone wolf this one.
Javonte Williams is going to have a very, very good game against Green Bay. I don't think they stop him, and he's due for a big game. This is going to be probably the best rushing game for the Broncos in the first half of the season, anyways.
So what, they're going to get 12 yards instead of 10? Like, come on. The Broncos suck, Rob.
Yeah, the Broncos are really bad. I'll be surprised if they score a touchdown. That's where I'm at with the Broncos. Like, their offensive production, it blows. And this is my lock. So to see you even pick against I'm just
I
like,
mean, he
what the
locked in
hell?
Indianapolis. Who
He really
knows with
did.
this guy.
I don't even know.
You know what? I don't think it's a lock. I think there is a chance that Green Bay could drop this game, but I think with Rob's logic coming from the bye, Jordo's probably been on the phone with Aaron while Aaron's getting his Achilles all fixed up, and I think he's going to come back and have a really good game. Yeah, Denver, come on.
Yeah,
They're
you know,
brutal.
and I really like it
Ru-
if my wife could see a win here, so that would make her feel better. So,
Yeah, Russ threw for 95 yards last against the Kansas City Chiefs. 95 yards.
yeah,
That's
Russ is
unbelievable.
terrible. But it was shitty Thursday, so we don't
Mahomes
hold
threw
that
for
against
300.
anybody. Yeah, we don't hold that against anybody. Okay, Chargers visiting the Chiefs. I lone wolf this one, and it's because I don't believe in Kansas City. I do believe that LA has the opportunity to be a better team than they are, and I feel like at one of these weeks it's going to happen. And I thought, you know what? Why not? This is the week where I feel like I've got one of those top tier teams that maybe is not playing as well as they should be, and this might be one of those ones where they catch them sleeping a little bit, and the Chargers pull off a win.
You know what? I bounce back and forth with this one, but it's hard to win in Arrowhead, right?
Yeah, really it is. Yep, I agree.
And Chargers, I feel the same way about the Chargers as I do Kansas City. Like these teams should be winning, but they're just like Kansas City's obviously winning. I think the big difference with Kansas City is they're not putting up the 40-point games, and their defense has actually gotten better because it might not even be that their defense has gotten better because their offense must be staying on the field longer because they're not scoring 50 points, and then the defense is always on the field for the Chiefs. That's why they were getting scored on a lot. So maybe their defense doesn't look or looks better because of that. But yeah, I was bouncing back and forth on this one. I went with Arrowhead. That's really what I went with.
Yeah, what do you think, Rob?
Well, I think the Lions beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. The Lions also beat the Packers in Green Bay, and they also beat the Bucs at home. So you know what? That's my little blurb there on the Lions. Anyways, take the Chiefs. The Chargers are struggling. The Chiefs, the Chiefs are just the better team. The Chargers are struggling. As much as we don't know what's going on with Kansas City, we really don't know what's going on with the Chargers.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, this one can go either way for me. So I just thought I'd take a shot. Okay, Miami visiting Philadelphia. I lone wolf this one again. Another team that I don't trust, Miami. I think that when they play these top tier teams, I think that it's a little bit of a roll of the dice for them. And so Philly is my pick here. So I take Philly at home.
Yeah, I think Philly needs to control time of possession to win this game.
Yeah.
They need to have like those 15 play, 85-yard drives in order to do it.
Yep.
Because I do think Miami's coming out and scoring, 7 out of their 10 drives, whatever, 70% of the time. I think Miami's scoring, and I think they get away with the win here. I don't think I can bet against Miami.
That's fair.
Really, I think I'm stuck on Miami until they prove me wrong.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Rob?
Take the over in this game, folks. The reason I took Miami is because Philadelphia is going to have to keep pace with them, and they're going to have to score 35 points. I think. You kick 2 field goals in this game, you're probably going to lose it.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. Yeah. You don't want to be settling for field goals right now.
No, you need point. You need the scores. You need the 6.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Okay, finish it up Monday night. San Francisco visiting Minnesota.
Rob with another lone wolf. And you know what is a beautiful thing is when the Detroit Lions fan is picking the Minnesota Vikings to win against probably the best team in the league. I want to hear your logic here, Rob, because I want to ride with you, man. I want to ride with it.
Ride with them.
Well, here it is, folks. Is it going to he big cock Brock or little cock Brock? First loss. Let's see how he bounces back. And really, this is a game where Brock either wins it or loses it, I think, by his play. I'm going to take Minnesota. Minnesota, they have to win this game. If not, they're done.
Yeah, in all fairness, Brock didn't lose the game last week. He also didn't go out and win it. He just was kind of like a serviceable quarterback last week.
That's
the
what Kirk
water
Cousins does.
the rain, he struggled with accuracy, that kind of stuff. But other than the one int, I don't believe that this is to dictate the rest of the season or anything for the Niners. I think they are as strong as they need to be. I think that Kyle, he saw that interception and he got a little conservative in his play calling. He got a little bit away from what he was supposed to do when they were playing Cleveland. And he was very clear. They actually talked about it during the game. They said, Kyle, I can't play the game. I can't play the game the way I played against Dallas. So I've got to play differently against Cleveland. And I'm hoping that maybe he saw that, his play calling and things like that, when they scored the first touchdown, they looked like the 49ers at the beginning of the game against Cleveland. And they just he took his foot off the gas. I also, if you've ever heard Jen, it's hilarious because at the end of that game or at the end of the half, anytime a Niners game, Kyle Shanahan is the worst play caller in the last 2 minutes of a half or the game. And I yell and scream at the TV pretty much the whole time. So she was like, oh boy. Watching him, take the knee and 40 seconds left with a timeout and all that kind of stuff. I know all the different either way. I think that Minnesota isn't in a place to compete right now with the Niners. That doesn't mean that maybe down the road they couldn't be, but right now I don't think they are. And I think after that loss, there was a lot of internal evaluation going on and some reality checks. And I think the Niners come out and win this game. And hopefully it's not a track meet like against Dallas, because I would hate to have to talk about that next week with you, Reg. But yeah, I think they win this, no problem.
You know what? Got to be unbiased here. Minnesota's defense is abysmal, and the offense that San Francisco puts on the field is so dynamic that I can't see Minnesota stopping them on many drives. Minnesota's offense is good, but your defense it's pretty good too. And I think you dial up a couple blitz, put the pressure on Kirk. Everyone always talks about Kirk and primetime Kirk, there's some truth to that. And yeah, he won't be looking like that, but he'll get up groaning and holding his ribs or something like that.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I would love Minnesota to win this game because I really do think the following I think they can get a 6-game streak going after this game.
Yep.
If they win this game, they're rolling. And if they win this week and the Lions lose this week, watch out, NFC North, because it is on. It is on.
Okay. All right.
Madison
Well,
will be the best running back.
Who? What?
Madison will be the best running back in the game.
Oh.
Madison will be the best running back in the game. Yeah, I mean, if CMC is out and then that Jordan Mason kid's playing, then maybe that's true. But I don't think we're getting our run offense going at all. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, folks, that is this week's show. I got nothing else left. I know Rob's got to get back to work, so we are happy to get all the way through the show. To those of you who tuned in, thank you very much. To those of you who listened to the show afterwards on either Apple or Spotify, right?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple.
Thank you very much. This week, big week in college football for me. Penn State playing Ohio in Columbus. So, yeah, go Lions, and we'll see what happens.
This is an NFL show. No one cares.
Yeah. Next year we'll be talking about them. So,
but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, people. You know how it is. I think we've got 17 subscribers or something like that.
What?
So we're pretty much the biggest. The greatest show on turf, the Rams. Like, we're the greatest show on YouTube or something like that.
Like next to the Kelseys, we're it, right?
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
out New Heights podcast.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
These three brothers that know nothing about football have never been nearly as successful as them. We're coming for you.
Yeah,
So,
what do you got, Rob? What's your closing remarks here?
Let's hope that this week was better than last week. We touched on it early. Put the flags away, let them play.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would like to see some teams that are on the cusp or that don't have an identity find it this week. It's week 7. People need to figure out who the hell they are.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time left. Now's the time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, football is still very sloppy for a week going.
It
into
really
week
is
7.
actually. Yeah.
It's
Uncle
not
Raj
great
should
football.
be. I think Uncle Raj will be talking to the officiating crew and saying, "Look, like sort this out." So
Also, one thing, Rob potentially. I feel Rob could go 6-7 this week on his picks.
6 and 7.
6 and 7. So below 500, that'll be a first.
Yeah.
I mean, if Rob does better and goes like perfect, then we're going 6 and 7 or something like that. But
It's probably more likely that Rob does.
yeah, a below 500 week of picks is very bad, and it might be grounds for dismissal from the show. We might be looking for
A replacement. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, replacement.
Well, he just bought his official mic. He's not out now. He just bought
Haters.
Oh, Rob got a mic? Yeah. Anyways,
an official mic.
we'll wrap
All right.
it up. Yeah, appreciate everyone listening. If you're not able to make it on Wednesday nights, you can always get it on Spotify the next day. We're trying to avoid the showing videos and stuff like that, so that you can listen and I don't know, maybe our nice voice is kind of like an ASMR. It relaxes you or something. I don't know.
Nice than the visual.
And yeah, Bobo seems to think I'm on the herb.
Might be.
Definitely not.
All right, Rob's got to
I wouldn't
go.
be able to do this, but yeah, let's wrap
shut
it
down.
up. And yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for coming along for the ride.
Love you,
my friends.
Mom.
Peace. Love you, Mom.
Bye.
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 Thanks, folks. See ya.
Yep.